I don't have to be involved in everything every time. When I hire my one associate attorney and I created systems and delegated all the non-legal work that did not require a bar card to my legal assistants, now I can just relax and be at the top.
Hey, law firm owners, welcome to the Your Practice Mastered podcast. We're your hosts. I'm MPS.
And I'm Richard James. And MPS, we are joined together yet again by an existing EAY finalist for the second time, right? So attorney James Hausen's with us, and he has already been an Entrepreneurial Attorney of the Year finalist. This wasn't luck that James was successful in 1 year. This was a function of systems and formulas that he kept building upon to the point that, James, you had grown your owner's benefit by over 80%, and you added revenue of nearly $1 million in 1 year.
Yeah, thank you, Rich. I'm James Hausen, and I'm the owner of Hausen Law, and we help people file bankruptcies all over the state of Ohio. When we were still in the throes of COVID, I decided I wanted to take the firm to a different level, so I started making changes at that time.
And taking it to a different level, you did. You added some explosive growth to the firm, but like any growth, sometimes it comes with a little growing pain. So I know in a very short window, you lost an associate, you lost almost a third of the production team. So what did that feel like in that moment?
So at that time, we had about 15 team members working for us, and we lost about 5 within about 30 to 45 days. One of the main people that left me was my associate attorney, who I basically put in charge of everything legally. But you can't just find someone that fast, replace them. I was like, oh, man, I don't know what to do. I felt like I wanted to shut myself in a room and cry, but I knew I had to put ads out there right away. I had to start working on some cases right away. I had to grind away. And I just told myself that this is going to be hard for a little bit. Ask God, of course, for help. And I tried to come up with a plan of how to get through this troubled time.
You followed an interesting rule. My rule is the 10-minute rule. I'll give myself 10 minutes to go in the corner and suck my thumb because I need it psychologically, right? And especially when bad stuff happens to good people or we didn't feel like we did anything wrong and it still turns upside down. And so what I love is that you went back to work and you fought it, but you didn't go back to work saying, if we talk about acting below the line or above the line, this line is this imaginary line of fear. Below the line is where you act as a victim or a villain or a hero. Like, oh my gosh, why does this always happen to be? That's below the line. And you didn't do that. You said, okay, I'm going to have to challenge myself to work more right now to get through this difficult time. I'm going to coach myself up to realize I'm going to go find a new way to do things. And that I'm going to set these goals that I'm going to do this, but I'm going to do it with the help of other people. I build my team and me and my bride are going to do this together. Is that a fair assessment of how you went about this and about your thinking?
It is. Obviously, when all that stuff happened to me, I was thinking to myself, all right, I can't play the victim. I can't say, oh man, what poor me. I got to think, that's in the past. It happened. I can't control it. But there are certain things I can control. And what I can control is I control myself and I can control my thinking, how to have a positive mindset. And I need to still continue to learn. There are still a lot of things I can do to help this practice. And I also was thinking, what can I do in the future so this never happens again?
MPS, you've had it happen in your career where difficult things happen. You start to question a little bit, right? If you're doing the right thing, if you're moving in the right direction. But it felt like James had confidence in his systems. Would you agree?
Confidence in his systems and then just confidence to keep moving because that's the other side of it. You might question what you're doing, but the worst thing you could do is nothing. So at least keep moving forward. And James, you replaced the associates, you started replacing the production team, and you even at a similar time brought in a marketing assistant to help out and start evolving that role too. Is that accurate?
Yeah, that's accurate. The way my firm is set up is that we had a sales department and the operation department or production department. So I couldn't be focused on so much on sales department anymore as much as I wanted to because I had to put myself all the way in the production department. I was the only attorney. I basically had no attorneys except one who just did the onboardings. And when we're talking about replacing the associate and then replacing the people who were the legal assistants that left, that meant bringing them all in, new people who had no experience, and training them from scratch. And I was thinking to myself, what do I do? And after about I would say a month of struggling, I decided one day, all right, all my legal assistants, oh, and my attorneys too, who I just hired, you're all coming out in a Zoom meeting with me, and we're going to do some training now, and we're recording all this.
And you just decided to raise up the existing team and elevate them. Is that right?
Yeah, 2/3 were still there.
Right.
So you basically go to the people who are still there and ask them, hey, how are things going? Are you willing to do some more responsibilities where you think there's real potential in you? And they were excited, and they're still with us to this day. Some left since then, but the base of them, the good ones, are still with us.
One of my early mentors said to me, you know, Rich, the secret is don't let the bad ones ruin it for the good ones, because the ones you got are the best ones you got. And you better figure out how to make them work and inspire them and walk alongside them and leverage their talents and let them step up to the game. And I learned a lot back then by letting other people step up. I want to touch upon something that James said, because you and I, Michael, tend to be marketing and sales guys. That's our nature, right? I've had to learn how to become an operations person through the years, and I'm reasonably good at it, but I had to make myself do that. And I would say James really leaned into that idea that he had leads being generated, he had to convert them better, and he really landed on his sales team. But at some point, Michael, the sales starts doing so well that somebody's got to go pay attention to production, right?
Well, and it sounds like this was what happened here, right? Your sales team has grown and exploded the growth of the firm, which is great, but now it creates a production, we'll call it opportunity, not issue. It creates a production opportunity. And that's obviously where you started to allocate your time. So what was that like, James, as someone that was so focused on the conversion side first, shifting over to the production side?
Well, I started making changes on the production side right away. One of the changes I made was having specialists. I was talking to other people in Partners Club about how they do their systems. And I said, all right, so we need to separate people in production from petition preparation. We thought who would be the best person for document collection, and we made her the document collector. And then I did a video for that when I trained her. And that's what we use now when we train new people to come in. And then as far as the salesperson, we had hired this marketing assistant. So we asked her, hey, would you like to be a sales manager? We think you'd be really good at this. And she accepted that.
Okay, so we elevated the people up. You got control over production by leveraging your existing team. You stepped in, not only trained, but did some of the work yourself. You took some existing team members in other roles and put them in charge of your sales team. So sales kept moving.
If you're looking to scale your people or your systems, you could head over to nonattorneysalespeople.com and learn a little bit more about what's going on and some of the systems James did here in this episode today.
James, how many cases were you filing when you started this journey a few years back every month?
So I would say 2022, I was doing about maybe 10 cases a month. 2023, I was probably up to about 30 for getting up there. 2024 is maybe about 30. And then last year in 2025, we started doing about 60 cases a month.
So we're doubling production, right? But in order to do that, you have to have people consistently retaining the firm, because you got to keep the pipeline primed. And simultaneously, you have to be paying attention to what's going on with the math. And I know you have a background in finance, but you reached out to a fractional CFO to get some help, didn't you?
Yeah, I reached out to a fractional CFO, Annette Sonnenberg, because I knew I was getting so big. I enjoyed numbers. I enjoyed reviewing it. I had no time. And thankfully, I did reach out to her before all this trouble happened, because she was able to analyze my numbers and tell me, hey, here's what your payroll percentage is. And ask her, can I hire another employee? I'm thinking about paying this person this much money. And she would tell me, oh, yeah, you can hire, but your overhead's a little bit too high. She was able to do the grunt work and save me time, because I need to be doing more of the legal work at that point in time. And I plan to continue using the fractional CFO.
Yeah, I mean, our business is no different than our client's business, right? So we're in a very busy season. We feel like we're out of time and we need to make some strategic hires, and we don't really feel like we have enough time to sit down and put some practical strategical thought. But yet during that CFO meeting, we were able to have conversations about math, but also some real conversations about where our next strategic hires are going to be. I don't know about you, but I found that to be helpful.
I always find it to be helpful. I look forward to that call with Annette every single month, because a lot of times it's nice to stop and celebrate the wins for a second too, because when you're moving so quickly, sometimes you don't have an opportunity to do that. And you look up and you see what happened in Q1 and you're like, wow, okay, that is something to celebrate, right? So yeah, I think it's a very valuable time. And James, I feel like when we talk about one of the undertones of you for 2025 and the firm is I think you engineered a system dependent firm. You mentioned anytime you brought a new staff member on, you recorded your training. You're still using that. What did that mean for you operationally, and what has that caused as a result of creating a system dependent firm?
Yeah, so what that means is that I don't have to be involved in everything every time. When I was able to hire my one associate attorney in June and I created systems and then I delegated the tasks, I split off all the non-legal work, all the work that did not require a bar card to my legal assistants. That means now I got specialists. If someone gets sick, I can plug someone else in there, get them trained up. If I'm hiring someone because we're expanding, I have them watch the video. I was the original mentor, but now my associate attorney, who has been here since June, is their mentor. So I got the training in, I got the mentoring process in there. And it just makes life so much easier now that I can just relax and be at the top. I'm watching and I can see what's going on, and then I can take all the hard questions so I'm not always in the weeds.
Okay, so the guy or gal that's listening is, man, I don't know where you got the time to do that. I'm working 90 hours a week right now as it is. I can't even imagine doing what you're saying you're doing. And I want to frame it for you. This is what you basically said. Inside of this mentoring, as you called it, you've got to develop a system with your CFO about deciding if you can hire somebody, if you have the cash flow to be able to do it. Then you have to be able to determine how you're going to recruit them. And then once you recruit them, you have to onboard them, make sure they're a good fit in the firm. And then you have to train them. And in that training, you can create duplicatable training systems like training videos and training SOPs. But in the beginning, it had to be you that trained them. It had to be you that managed them. Now you say, I'm going to do it once, record it, and then it'll be there for everybody else that comes through. But for the attorney who's listening going, man, I can't imagine having to do it at all, let alone once. What would you say to them? Like, how essential is it that you created that first training?
It's essential for anyone listening to this video that they have to block off their calendar, at least for that one day, and work on building the systems. You can always get caught up on the work later on, if that means working more hours, because you're working a lot of hours right now anyways. And I was working so many hours, like 60, 70 hours. I want to get back down below 50. And I thought to myself, I got to do this right now. And I just made the time to do it.
It's easy to get caught up in the, I just have more work to do. I don't have time to stop to build the systems, right?
Yeah.
And the reality is that the work never stops.
Yeah, and the work will always find you. So I think, James, to your point, the key move is taking the time to block it on the calendar, because truthfully, if you don't do that, it's not going to get done, and you're just going to stay in this endless cycle. And that's not a fun position to be in. So props to you for breaking the cycle, getting out of it. And now you've got a resource that can be used time and time again as new talent continues to come in. And you've built it in a way that it doesn't have to be you that has to be the one training the new talent. I'm curious on the freedom aspect of things. At some point during 2025, you're able to step away for a couple of weeks. How did that feel to be able to step away for a couple of weeks and have the firm continue to run?
Yeah, it was kind of strange. My wife, Denise, and I, we made a plan to go to Hawaii for 2 weeks in October. And I told her that we're going to make this work no matter what. And the only way to do that was like, we got to plan it out and we got to do it. We just had to create the systems and we started delegating the tasks, making specialists out of people. The reason we did that and we moved so fast because we didn't want to be in the grinder all the time. We want to take time off. And we did take time off in October. In fact, we didn't just take 2 weeks off in October. We took off another week in December. So basically almost a whole month off in the fourth quarter.
James, tell me if I'm wrong. You're stronger because you went through this. Fair enough?
Yeah, we are stronger now because we went through this, because it gave us more confidence in ourselves that we can actually get this done, that if someone else leaves again, which they did, we actually got systems where I'm not totally 100% involved in it now, that I can just oversee the process. And also something else we did too to try to help employee retention. This is a team effort, and we're going to start doing profit sharing bonuses. And we started that with the third quarter of last year.
It feels good to give back because everyone is involved in making it happen. So, James, congratulations on being in this position again and for showing up in the community and showing up to your team, showing up to your firm. We're excited to be able to hear your presentation in May at the event. And of course, wishing you the best of luck. So congrats.
Yeah, thank you.
I hope that person out there that's listening is taking some hope from this, that regardless of where you are today, regardless of If a third of your staff walked out on you yesterday, tomorrow can be a brighter day, and you too can find a way through this.
If you're looking to scale your people or your systems, you could head over to nonattorneysalespeople.com and learn a little bit more about what some of the systems behind our clients and things like James did.
James, thanks so much for sharing today. I appreciate you giving back in a way that's going to be helpful to somebody else that's listening to this that really needed that ray of hope today. I appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you. I'm glad to be part of this.